Imagine standing alone in the middle of an empty ranch, surrounded by complete silence. Then, a massive wolf appears out of nowhere. You fire at it. Once, nothing happens. Twice, still nothing. The creature doesn't run. It simply stares at you, before calmly walking away into the darkness. This isn't a horror movie, according to the people who lived there. This actually happened. Welcome to Skinwalker Ranch, a place so mysterious that scientists, government researchers, and investigators have spent decades trying to understand what is happening there. But the deeper they looked, the stranger everything became. It all began in northeastern Utah. From the outside, Skinwalker Ranch looks completely ordinary. Open fields, rolling hills, quiet skies. Nothing about it suggests danger. Yet for generations, local Native American tribes avoided this land completely. According to ancient legends, the ranch was cursed. They believed an evil supernatural being, known as the Skinwalker, could change its form, becoming different animals, while bringing fear and destruction wherever it appeared. For centuries, these stories remained nothing more than local legends. Most people dismissed them as myths, until 1994. A family named the Shermans moved onto the ranch, hoping to start a peaceful new life. Instead, they became part of one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. Within days, they noticed strange lights moving silently across the sky. Their cattle became unusually restless. Dogs barked into empty darkness. Something didn't feel right. Then, one afternoon, everything changed. An enormous wolf approached the family's livestock. It wasn't behaving like a normal wild animal. It showed no fear. It walked directly toward them. When the family tried to stop it, they fired at it from close range. Once, twice, 3 times. According to Terry Sherman, the animal barely reacted. It simply looked back at him, turned around, and disappeared into the darkness. No blood, no body, no tracks. Whether it was an unusually resilient predator or something no one could explain has never been proven. But one thing is certain. That encounter changed the Sherman family forever, because over the weeks that followed, the strange events became impossible to ignore, and they soon realized they weren't dealing with ordinary wildlife anymore. They believed something else was sharing the ranch with them. The strange wolf was only the beginning. Over the following months, the Sherman family began witnessing events that made even less sense. Bright lights appeared over the ranch, almost every night. Sometimes they hovered silently in the sky. Other times, they moved with impossible speed, changing direction instantly, without making a single sound. At first, Terry Sherman believed someone was trespassing on his property, so he began spending nights outside, watching, waiting, hoping to catch whoever was responsible. But what he saw only raised more questions. One night, a glowing orange object appeared above one of the distant fields. It wasn't an airplane, it wasn't a helicopter, and it made absolutely no noise. As Terry watched, the object suddenly accelerated across the sky, covering an enormous distance in just seconds, before stopping instantly above another part of the ranch. No known aircraft could move like that. Then, the cattle deaths began. Healthy animals, worth thousands of dollars, were found dead under deeply disturbing circumstances. Some had strange surgical-looking cuts. Others appeared untouched, yet had died without any obvious cause. Predators hadn't attacked them. There were no signs of struggle. Even local investigators struggled to explain what they were seeing. Word slowly spread beyond the small Utah community. Journalists arrived. Paranormal investigators arrived. Scientists became interested. The stories sounded unbelievable, yet they kept coming from different witnesses. The ranch had become more than a local legend. It had become a mystery, attracting national attention. Then, something unexpected happened. In 1996, the Sherman family decided they had enough. They sold the ranch, not because they wanted to, but because they believed staying there was no longer worth the risk. Most people assumed that would be the end of the story. They were wrong, because the man who bought the ranch wasn't looking for farmland. He was looking for answers. The new owner was Robert Bigelow, a billionaire entrepreneur fascinated by unexplained phenomena. Instead of ignoring the stories, he funded a large investigation. Scientists, engineers, and researchers arrived. The ranch became a giant laboratory. Cameras watched the skies. Sensors monitored the fields. Over the years, investigators collected reports of strange lights, equipment failures, unusual animal behavior, and unexplained objects. Some events were supported by data. Others depended on eyewitness accounts. And that was the challenge. The ranch created more questions than answers. Years later, public interest grew when researchers connected to Skinwalker Ranch became involved in government-funded studies of UAPs. That connection sparked debate. Did they discover something extraordinary? Or were they simply investigating a place already famous for strange stories? No one knows. Even today, skeptics and believers remain divided. Researchers still visit the ranch. New investigations continue. Yet one question remains. What is really happening there? Maybe science will eventually explain it. Or maybe Skinwalker Ranch will remain what it has always been. A mystery. Waiting for the next person willing to investigate it. If you enjoy exploring unsolved mysteries, hidden history, and unexplained phenomena, subscribe to The Buried Secrets. Because every mystery leaves behind clues. The only question is, who's willing to follow them?